Hello, beautiful being. My name is Philip, and I'm an Akashic Record teacher and channeler. And in this video, instead of opening my own records or the records of someone else, I actually opened the Akashic Records of Money. Now, it's very interesting because I asked the Akashic Records of Money some questions for us to have a better perspective on how money can flow in the greatest ease, how we can have a healthy perspective, and in a way, just everything when it comes to having a better financial situation and a better life. So I asked it a couple questions, and the answers were so interesting and so beautiful and so clear that I would love to share this with you. So, without any further ado, this is me channeling the Akashic Records of Money. The Akashic Records of Money are now open. Dear Akashic Records, can you give me, before we start our conversation, a great context for everyone who is listening in to this channel? Oh, dear souls, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Akashic Records of Money. Here are all the information that is stored around your current currency system in place. Now, we make a big differentiation between money and currency because currency is being practiced on more planets, even though most planets are not using any form of money, of currency. Most planets, and we mean with that around 83% of all beings in your cosmic universe, are not using such systems. They see them as obsolete. But for the planets that do, there are different currencies in place, of course. Now, even there are some tribes on your planet right now, some communities that are not using money at all, and they live in great harmony. Now, for others that are hearing that, they're like, how is that possible? Money is such a system that's been there for years, but it is not necessary to have money. What we want to say though, your form of currency on this planet is what most call money. And under money, a couple of things fall into place. You have your economic system that falls in place, but also your emotional awareness around money. Also, the perceived importance of money is all part of the system. Most humans place a lot of importance on the system of money, and it is correct that certain levels of money in your world can create a whole lot of freedom, but so do certain levels of connections or certain levels of other resources or a certain level of skill. All of these can create in an individual's life the same amount of freedom. We want to define money here for you before we start this conversation. Money, in the context that we're going to speak to it now, is your humanity's form of currency and value exchange. And with that, we mean the mental instances, the emotional instances, and the systems that are in place. All we are considering money, and all is recorded or linked with these Akashic records. Now, with that out of the way and that definition in place, we would love to ask you, what is your first question to these records today? Wow, thank you so much, dear record keepers. My first question is how can it be that some people have so much money and some people have so little? Why are there so much differences on this planet? Hmm. That is indeed true, dear one. And you would say it. Some people are lucky and other people are unlucky, but that is not the case. What is actually the case with this question is that for a lot of people it may seem unfair, this imbalance, but it is actually not an imbalance. As many have stated before, this is true. If we would at the moment take all of the money of your planet and equally distribute it across all of the humans, so everyone gets the same amount, exactly the same amount in their local currency, then in a matter of 5 years, the distribution of your money would be almost the same as it is now. Now, how can that be? That is not because of the money itself. Money is not responsible for the distribution. But what is responsible for the distribution of who has a lot of money and who has very little is, first of all, the mindset, second of all, the right perspective, and third of all, what the intelligence to what will attract money into one's life in the first place. Now, you will notice that the people that have a lot of intelligence in value creation, in currency, and also in the selling of that value will very quickly gain more money. Also, the people that will have a poor mindset on money and will think about how can I not lose this money, and with that will maybe secure it and will at the same time, because of the high amount of money that they received, want to spend it quickly, they will quickly end up with a lot less money. You see, some skills will generate money and some skills will lose money. It's not so much in the money itself, it's way more in the mindset. It's way more in also the emotional view on money. And next to that, you need to have intelligence which systems are in place. Without you knowing the systems and without you having a basic understanding, you are blind when it comes to the economic system. You are blind to how money flows. Because in reality, money is constantly flowing. It likes to flow, it wants to flow. Just like a river or a whole system of rivers, money is constantly flowing. Next to that, it's not flowing to the people that are bad or the people that are evil, that some of you might think. It is flowing to the people that have taken the time to become intelligent. And it's flowing to the people that have taken the time to become more like a researcher and um, like we would love to say, someone with the ambition to create money will probably create more money. Someone with the ambition to help people, but is not caring so much about money, some of them will still have a lot of money and other of them will be absolutely poor. All of this is so interlinked with the mindset and the emotional set. So, to become clear in this message, we would love to say the following. If you are listening right now and you want to be a person that receives more money somehow or another, we would start with letting you contemplate a couple of questions. The first one is, for the last 5 to 10 years, have you been avoiding the topic or have you been proactively interested in the topic? Second of all is, have you been taking the necessary actions to become more money literate and more money organized. So, have you become to learn more about the topic? And have you become organized in your financial systems, like your bank accounts, your bookkeeping, your accounting, and such? You will already notice that these two questions create a pretty clear picture of what is going on. Now, the next question is, how many times are you asking yourself, hey, how can I receive more income? What can I do differently so that I can create more income for myself? Because a lot of the people that want money are actually asking the questions that keep them in lack. And so, without going in too much detail on that topic, in this question, we would just love for you to shift the question to something that actually creates more money flow into your life. It all starts with these questions and with painting a true picture of your current situation and your ideal situation and how you would get there. If you would focus for the next couple of months, especially with the current tools and information that is out there, on how to create money for yourself, and what is important is in an aligned way, otherwise, it will never last. And with alignment, we mean if the heart, the mind, and the soul is in one area in line and agrees on the way you are making money. If all of that is in line, then by you focusing on the topic and by getting more organized and more literate on the topic, it will just be a matter of time and it will actually be quite simple. And if it's hard for you to learn yourself, seek guidance, ask someone, seek in your network if someone is already making the money and if he can teach you, or get a coach, get someone who can get you there. Because, in all honesty, for most people, it's amazing to have a little bit more. And the flow is there, the money is there. It is just, are you attracting it or are you blocking yourself from it? That's the main distinction. Thank you for asking this question, and we hope this gives a more clear picture of what is truly going on. Wow, thank you. The second question that I want to ask is this: how can someone be so giving and of service to the whole, but is not getting the money and the wealth in return, even if this person gives so much value to someone else? Hmm. Yes, this most of the time has to do with a lack of wanting receiving in their lives. So, most of the time, that giving is not coming from a place of fully giving selflessly. That most of the time, that giving comes from a place of hope. And hope is not an empowered state of being. Hope, and with the hope that we are addressing right now, because there are forms of hope that are very empowering, the hope that we are addressing now is the hope that is like, okay, if I just help these people, I hope somewhere something will open up to uh, take care of my money situation. I hope this is going to happen. This is a very small state of being, and it is not something that is truly creating money. From a fully self empowered state, you see your own value. And you see that when you are giving something that is of true value and that can help someone, even if it's a very, 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 very good friend, you most of the time can ask for something in return. Now, this can be some other service, this can be an experience, or of course, this can be money. And for most people that are in this state of being, that they feel like they're giving, but they're not getting, and they're just scraping to get by, they're having difficulty in their money situation. We would really love to first let them fill their own cup first with the thing that they're giving so much to others. Are you actually giving this to yourself as well? And if you are giving to yourself as well, how much do you think this is of actual value to someone else? If you have a lot of people that you're giving to and they have expressed the value, you can ask them, hey, if this would be a service, how much would you be willing to pay for this service? What if you would not know me and you are recommending a friend? What would you think is a truthful energy exchange or money exchange for this service? And they can say 50 an hour or 100 an hour or 2,500 for the whole service, or they can give you some monetary feedback that you can then use. And then what we would love for you to do is to actually charge for the same service. Now, if you have never charged for your service, it can be of great value to also sometimes buy something of the same price class. Because if you are, for example, wanting to charge your service for 2,500, and let's call that in dollars, $2,500 for the service that you are providing, but you never gave someone more than 100 for a similar experience, then it's going to be very almost unfair to your very loving heart to ask this amount of money. And so, again, you are sabotaging yourself. So, you want to find the equilibrium here of what is fair to your heart and what is fair to your network and with the research that you have done, with the questions you have asked. If there is an amount that seems fair to you and seems fair to the other people, we would love for you to start charging right away. And how do you do that? Now, you just say, like, if somebody is in need of your service and they're like, oh my God, can you help me with this service? Instead of saying yes, you're saying, of course I can help, but I would love an equal energy exchange in return. And at the moment, my price is this. And you say your price that is true to your heart and true to the market. Now, this can be a whole new step into your life, but this is exactly the step we would love for you to take. Actually, it's way more loving, even though it might not feel like it in your current awareness. But paint this picture for yourself. If a tree, an apple tree, is constantly giving fruit and it wants to give fruit, it constantly wants to give their apples away, but at the same time, it's blocking nourishment coming in from the roots, soon the apple tree would be out of energy to produce these fruits, and the apple tree would die prematurely, very young, without giving all of the apples that it could give. Now, if you truly, truly, truly want to give all these apples away, it's of essential nature that you are taking all the nourishment you can get to grow as the biggest tree you can be, to give as much apples as you can. The receiving of the nourishment is of extreme importance to the giving. So if you paint this picture, and on one end, on the left side, you see the tree that wants to give but is not accepting any nourishment in return, and the other tree that accepts all the nourishment and is also, it wants to accept all the nourishments to give more, which of this tree is more loving? Which of this tree is a better picture? Which of this tree do you actually want to be? You would see that the picture of this is very clear, of course. You would see that the tree that is also accepting all the nourishment is, of course, the tree that and is able to give more and is loving themselves more. It's keeping the tree longer alive. So we want all of you that are resonating with the description of this question to be that tree that takes in all the nourishment. And if you are part of a monetary system, it's time to charge, because the money can give you all the nourishments that you need to continue giving at bigger and more beautiful and more aligned scales. Thank you for this question. We are very sure that this will help a lot of people. Thank you so much, dear records. The next question that I want to ask is, what is a great perspective to have on money for a spiritual being? Ah, yes, this is a great question, and we would love to indeed continue our metaphors here, because the tree metaphor that we just gave you is indeed an amazing metaphor to continue building on. The best metaphor and perspective you can have on money is actually a very neutral one. We want to eliminate most of the emotional uh, pressure that people put on money. Most people are very emotionally charged. They are comfortable with a certain amount on their bank account, and when it's getting too low, they're getting in panic, but also when it's getting too high, they're getting in panic. And so, in both ways, they can become very anxious of their bank accounts and become very anxious of the amount of money that's on there. Now, first of all, it's just a number. So let's not be afraid of any number. A number is not a tiger in the bushes. A number is not you being robbed. A number is just a number on a screen. And most banks at the moment are all digital. So that number is not even fully represented into something physical. It's just a number. Now, why would you be afraid of this number? Let's remove the fear of this number. Let's become more acclimatized to be okay with both low and both high numbers. So when the low is okay, the middle is okay, and the high is okay, there is will be way less pressure on the emotional side of money. And so, by having a more neutral perspective, more money is able to flow in your life. You will be less likely to sabotage it because there is less emotional triggers in place. You will be able to keep it, you will be able to save, you will be able to spend it not on everything, but just on the things that are really calling to you as a soul. And you will have the freedom that you would like to have, all just because you are creating a more neutral perspective. So, what is a neutral perspective on money? The most neutral perspective that we can give you is money is money. And this maybe needs some more explanation, but let us repeat that again. Money is money, or money is just money. Most people who have figured out the money game will say that to you. Most people who have spent the time to get wealthy, they will just say money is just money. There are way more important things in life. So they look at it very neutral. There is no emotional charge around it at all. And it is of a neutral nature. That's why it also doesn't matter to the universe or to money if someone who has a good heart or someone who has a bad heart has money. And some people look at this and it's so unfair. Why do these people that do all this evil stuff have so much money? And we do not. Now, this perspective, first of all, is not helping you to get more money. And second of all, money is neutral. So let the bad people have as much money as they want and let the good people have as much money they want. It's neutral. It's so neutral. So any emotional attachment to it, any unfairness, any hopelessness, any helplessness, any victim mentality, any any form of you looking to money in an emotional way creates pressure and creates inner sabotage to what you actually are able to receive. So let's first get that out of the way when you are developing a healthy perspective to money. Now let's imagine all of us that are listening right now. Let's imagine a neutral space of money. Money is just money. Money is a tool that can come in many forms to you. It doesn't matter which form. There is not only one form. Sometimes when you're in panic and money creates the panic emotion, you only think there is a specific way to receive money. No, there are a million ways to receive money. And your world is reflecting that right now so obviously. People can make money with the most interesting topics that you never heard of. People make money that make lives easier for other people. People make money to help. People make money to share knowledge. People make money to because they have developed a skill and they're sharing that skill with a company or with others. People make money just because they are receiving of it. People make money because they understand the financial system. People make money to complain. There are at the moment more than 1 million people on your planet that, as their main income, are complaining about life. Now, if you are a complainer about life, maybe you should become a paid and professional complainer. It is possible, and there are many, many souls that are doing it right now. Money can come from everywhere, and money is neutral. That's a great perspective to have. Now, any form that is not applying this perspective, you may want to look at that and you may want to reconsider that. Maybe you are walking on the street and you see somebody driving in a Porsche, and you're like, oh, and you have this inner growl to them. Nah, that's a judgment. That's not neutral. Why are you not happy for that person? Maybe it's amazing to drive in a Porsche. And other people as well. Maybe you walk on the street and you see someone begging. And you're like, oh, this is so low. That's another emotional judgment, again linked to money. So, the first and most important thing is that you can see it as neutral. And if your perspective is not neutral right now, start working on it. Start to get curious. Start to become the inner investigator. Because maybe it's because your parents didn't see it as neutral. Maybe it's because your society is not seeing it neutral. And maybe it's because of your emotions are not seeing it as neutral. Let yourself see this topic as a neutral, flowing topic. Way more like a river. Way more like a river. It's not that some people are mad at the river because it flows at the sea, and a part of the river flows at the lake, and a part of the river flows into some canals. Nobody is mad about that. Maybe there are some people mad when the river is overflowing or when the river is being drying out. But what can you do? The river is just a river. It flows. And the best way, the most easy way to look at the river is to enjoy it and to have a very neutral perspective of just, hey, the river is just water that flows. And you can also be grateful for it. So even a neutral perspective is fully neutral. Gratefulness will greatly help heal whatever emotional blockage you might have. Now, if that neutral perspective is being set, we would love for you to get back to the analogy of the tree. The tree knows in its core what is here to give. It's not here to get money. Even though an apple tree can make money, it's not here to give money. It's here to grow. It's here to receive the sun and to receive nutrients. It's here to create oxygen. And it's here to produce fruit and seeds that create apples and that create more apple trees. Next to that, trees are incredibly wise beings. So, it's a wise being that is constantly giving and constantly receiving. It's a wise being that wants to extract all the nutrients it can get, and from the soil and from the sky, to fulfill its purpose of growing and producing fruits and producing seeds. Now, you came to this planet with a similar knowing. Every person that is at the moment in a state where they are fully in alignment, fully thriving, where their heart, their mind, and their soul is in one line into service, they all knew, they all knew inside all the time what they were here to do, but they forgot in moments of their lives. So, when you see yourself as this tree, your function, the fruit that you're here to produce, the person in which you are here to grow, and the seeds that you are here to spread are all already completely encoded into your being. Now, how would you get to know these? This you will get to know by going within and by the reflection of others that see you in a loving light. You can ask people that love you about what are your skills? What are you good at? And you can ask yourself, what are my skills? What am I good at? What am I here to give? What is emerging out of me? Am I happy right now with what I'm currently giving? And can I change into a place where I'm absolutely having happy with what I'm giving? Now, this has nothing to do with money, but this will greatly complete the picture. Because if you are becoming clearer and clearer on what you are here to give, and you see money as a neutral means and an extra resource for you to give this, the only thing that you want to do is to be more of service and more of service and more of service. And it's not going to be as scary anymore to ask for something in return because you need it. You need it. We hope this cleared up and healed some of your perspectives on money. It's just money. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. There is one more question that I prepared. And that is, I want to take it more into a. This was already practical in some ways, but I want to make it very practical. So, can you give all the people that view this video some practical steps that let money flow in their lives in an aligned way? Hmm. Oh, dear one, thank you so much. Yes, we have spread a lot of the practical steps already in this transmission, but we would love for all of you that are still listening to us to have a nice step-by-step plan that you can do to let money flow easily to you. Now, like we said earlier, start with the perspective. See where you are too emotionally charged around money and in which way, and see if you can make that more neutral and base yourself into a neutral gratefulness. Be thankful. Be thankful for whatever you have right now. Only out of a state of gratefulness you can truly expand this situation you're currently in. Next to that, if you are experiencing a similar pattern again and again and again, know that it's time for a change. If you want the situation to change, you need to change. So be open for changing your perspective, your behavior, your thoughts around this topic. Next to that, we want to get a pen and paper. And even though some of you might want to do this digitally or with a voice recorder, we really recommend pen and paper here. And we want to ask you the following questions. And please write these questions down on that paper and journal about it. First one, if I look back at my life, and especially in my younger years, what was I doing so naturally? What was I naturally wanting to do? Now, this question can already shine a big light on which fruit you are here to be producing in this lifetime. Next to that, we want to ask you this. From a scale from 1 to 10, um, how happy are you with your current financial situation? And please explain why you give this number. As a third question to reflect on is what would be a 10 like when it comes to this situation? What would be my ideal financial situation combined with what you are here to do? So think about your financial income, what you ideally want to be receiving, and then see yourself with maybe the natural urges you had when you were a child, creating that money. And when you get blocked with saying, but yes, but these skills do not make money, that's not true. And it's a good belief to get out of your system. There are in every area of your reality people that make money from it. Some make money out of thin air, some make money out of things they like to do as a child, and some make money for things they don't like to do. In every area, every urge you might have had as a child, there is a monetizable option available for you. So whenever you're thinking, oh, but I cannot make money from that, that is a limiting belief that we know is not true. Now, if that comes up, go in there, reflect on that as well. Let during this reflection, everything that comes up that may be blocking you be extra information, because that is exactly what you need to look at to change your financial situation. Now, when you know what you did as a child, you know your current situation, and you know your ideal situation, the last question would be, how can I step by step in the next year move into this financial situation? What resources do I currently have? Which action steps can I take? Which connections can I connect with and ask for help? Let all of this be considered, and you will have a very beautiful, complete reflection of what to do next. This is not an easy reflection, and we would really like for you to spend significant hours, at least 1.5 to 2 hours, on considering these questions. But these 2 hours will be so worth your time and will create a very good financial situation that is aligned with you. Finally, and this is the most practical step and maybe the most hard to do. Anytime you're comparing yourself and anytime you are walking on the street or seeing someone richer than you or see someone poorer than you and you feel you're judging them, replace that with love. Replace that with happiness. Send love to the hobo. Send love to the billionaire. Send love. They are on their journey. They have their own set of problems. You have no clue why they're there in the first place. And to judge them is none of your business, is not helping you in either way. And for most of you, it's actually blocking abundance and financial means coming into your life. So whenever you feel the judgment, it's not bad that you're judging, but replace it with love. Feel the judgment, replace it with love. Feel the judgment, replace it with love. And this may seem like a non-practical step, but this is very literal. This is very practical. You will notice that by doing this, in the coming weeks, your life will absolutely change and your perspective on money will be very different and you will receive many opportunities that you haven't noticed before. You will open up to many layers of reality that can realize your ideal financial situation. Thank you so much for your inquiry today and for all the people that are tuning in. We feel you and we're here to empower you every step of the way. Even though it might seem like a big enigma, money is not that hard. And for you, by taking the time to understand it, you will become very easily well adept in financing your own life, your own dreams, and the dreams of many other people in your reality. Thank you. Mm. Wow. Weren't these answers amazing? Actually, when I was doing this, I was immediately thinking, okay, I want to do more of this. I want to do a series actually of me opening different Akashic records and asking them how can we behave and have healthy perspectives on all of these topics, because for me this is already so interesting and I feel so grateful to also be in a position to share this with all of you, to share my Akashic Record connection with you as well. Now, if you feel like, wow, I want to also be able to channel that, you can. Everyone is able to tap into the records. There are even multiple ways to tap into the records. And I'm sharing a very easy and quick way to connect. Within 3 hours in my course, you will already have your very first connection session. And with a little bit of practice, you will be able to channel as I do, with the same amount of words, the same amount of clearance, or in your completely unique way that is even way more awesome than how I channel. So know that that course is available on my website. And I want to continue, like I already said, this series. I want to channel more, and I would love for you to know what I can channel on. Which records do you want me to open? Because the Akashic Records is a big library. Everything has a record. So I can open the records of business, open the records of economy, open the records of currency that they have been talking about, but also about the records about lifestyle, the records about imagination, the records about war, the records about love, the records about the cosmos, different star systems, everything has records. Maybe about the sea. We can open the records of our sea. We can open the records of Atlantis. Like there are so many possibilities. And I would love for you to guide me which records to open next. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to this channel. And I wish you such a beautiful life with so much money flow. I hope this video helped you. Now, if you want some more channeling, here you will have the latest energy update of this month, which I highly recommend. And I hope to see you very soon in one of the following channel links. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. See you in the next one.